I think Tank is avoiding real boxers, right? He's avoiding them for a reason. We have that kind of skill set. I think that matched up against Tank Davis, that was a fight that we've always liked. We've always fancied our chances.
One thing that Gervonta Davis and the Davis fans are proving that he is an attraction, but he is not the best. You can't claim to be the best. You can't claim to be a champion when you're not a champion. Devin Haney holds all the belts, and the key present.
The one thing that they haven't said is that they wanted to fight Devin. And that's the part of the business. That's the part of boxing. That's having two sides, having that ultimate dance partner, right? When Devin is being Devin, the Devin I know, he can outbox anybody on the planet.
Is Gervonta "Tank" Davis really walking away from boxing without settling the biggest question on every fight fan's mind? Rumors are swirling that he's dodging a dangerous rematch with Lamont Roach Jr. at the exact moment Bill Haney is stepping in to throw bold accusations his way. And if you think this is just another routine boxing rivalry, buckle up. There's more drama unfolding behind the scenes than anyone expected. Ever since Davis shot to stardom with electrifying knockouts, fans have demanded real tests, real stakes, and real challenges in the ring. But now, with whispers that he might hang up his gloves sooner than expected, and with Bill Haney calling him out for avoiding tough matchups, this story has become a lightning rod for controversy. If you're curious about the battle lines being drawn, the shocking remarks from Haney, and the uproar over Davis's 9th-round knee fiasco, stay tuned, because what's unfolding right now might change everything we thought we knew about Gervonta Davis. Bill Haney isn't one to hold his tongue. Weeks ago, he shook up the boxing world by declaring that Davis has been sidestepping legitimate fighters for years. According to Haney, any talk of a Davis versus Devin Haney showdown has always been met with hesitation on Davis's side. He even claimed that Lamont Roach Jr. deserved an immediate rematch after their controversial draw, insinuating that Tank was actively searching for softer targets. These comments didn't just spark another wave of social media chatter, they triggered a full-blown frenzy. Talk shows, podcasts, and sports channels hopped on the story, dissecting Haney's every word. Were his allegations warranted, or was it just more typical trash talk? No one could ignore that Bill Haney had kicked the hornet's nest by framing Davis as a fighter, refusing to risk it all. But that was only the beginning. Bill Haney doubles as father and trainer to lightweight champion Devin Haney, so his words carry extra sting. He's not merely a bystander, he has firsthand knowledge of high-level ring strategy. When he branded Davis a manufactured fighter, matched specifically against slow-footed opponents, the boxing community took notice. After all, Davis's highlight reel is stacked with dramatic stoppages. But have we seen him truly tested against top-tier speed and ring IQ? On top of that, Haney insists that Davis is deliberately ignoring threats posed by boxers like Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney himself. If Davis is as good as his fans believe, Bill Haney wonders, why not prove it against the best? Why keep picking fights that Bill claims are tailor-made and to highlight Davis's strengths while downplaying his weaknesses? Those are sharp, heated questions. Yet it's precisely the kind of jab that keeps fans glued to boxing podcasts and YouTube channels, craving every morsel of analysis. And just when you think it's all talk, the conversation shifts to an actual fight that seemed destined to provide answers. Something huge went down in early March that turned this war of words into a massive public debate. On March 1st, under the bright lights of Brooklyn's Barclays Center, Gervonta "Tank" Davis and Lamont Roach Jr. clashed in a fight that left the world reeling. Most observers expected Davis to dominate and secure another highlight reel victory. Yet the night ended in a majority draw, stunning everyone who had pegged Davis as a clear favorite. All three judges were split on what they saw, with one giving the fight narrowly to Davis, while the other two called it even. Fans were left scratching their heads, either outraged by the result or convinced it was somehow rigged. To complicate matters, rumors flew that Davis had initially planned for an immediate rematch, wanting to set the record straight with a definitive victory over Roach. But as time passed, talk of that rematch started to fade. That night also created a brand new flashpoint in Davis's career, one that overshadowed the entire final round. It was a single moment that has since been replayed and debated countless times. And that moment unleashed an even bigger storm of controversy. By the ninth round, Roach had found a rhythm that made Davis look almost human. Then, in an incident that would dominate the headlines, Davis dropped to one knee in the middle of the action. Most fans immediately assumed Roach's jab had forced the knockdown. The referee, however, waved it off, refusing to call it an official knockdown. Davis later explained the bizarre move by blaming hair grease that dripped into his eyes, causing a searing sensation that left him momentarily blinded. Critics cried foul, insisting that if a fighter voluntarily takes a knee, especially after getting hit, a knockdown should be on the table. The New York State Athletic Commission tried to investigate, but they admitted to technical failures that prevented an immediate replay review. From that point on, the lines were drawn. Were we witnessing a legitimate equipment mishap at the worst possible time, or was this a sneaky tactic to avoid a damaging blow? Regardless, the debate only intensified calls for a do-over, a fight that would remove all doubt. Yet whispers began circulating that Davis wasn't so keen on running it back after all. But wait, didn't Davis himself vow to settle the score with Roach ASAP? Early on, Davis signaled that he wanted a return bout with Lamont Roach Jr. by late May 2025. Fans were thrilled at the thought. An immediate second meeting would either confirm Davis's superiority or cement Roach as a legitimate threat. Still, that excitement didn't last long. Before official papers could be signed, insiders started claiming that Davis was backing away. Cue Bill Haney, who pounced on this rumor with relentless energy. He alleged that Tank preferred slow, methodical fighters who wouldn't jeopardize his undefeated image. Haney also reminded everyone of better matchups that many believe Davis has dodged for far too long, namely Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney himself. To Bill, Tank's reluctance to finalize the Roach rematch fit into a larger pattern of cherry-picking. Amid the swirl of these accusations, Davis's camp remained tight-lipped, leaving fans to speculate. Some insisted that Davis was simply exploring other offers or waiting for the best possible deal. Others believed Bill Haney's narrative, that Davis lacks the confidence to face strong competition after seeing how Roach surprised him. Just when the whispers of avoidance began to peak, Gervonta Davis dropped a bombshell that no one saw coming. In a packed press conference at the Barclays Center, Davis stunned the crowd by declaring that he plans to retire by the end of 2025. He didn't mince words about being fed up with all the drama in boxing. The endless rumors, the shaky negotiations, the constant finger-pointing. He said he wanted to focus on real estate investments, personal business ventures, and most importantly, spending time with his family. The immediate reaction was sheer disbelief. Why would one of the sport's biggest names bow out when he's still in his prime? Critics like Bill Haney wasted no time spinning it as a convenient escape, suggesting that Davis was retreating before he had to face the real threats in his division. Meanwhile, fans questioned whether retirement talk was genuine or if it was simply a negotiating tactic to pressure promoters and hype an eventual mega fight. In boxing, though, big announcements often lead to even bigger speculation. Was Davis truly serious, or was this all smoke and mirrors meant to keep people guessing about his next move? The controversy grew even more intense when top figures around the sport shared their scorching opinions. As usual, the voices of sports media luminaries quickly entered the fray. ESPN personalities called out Davis's explanation for the ninth round knee, demanding a deeper investigation into whether his corner improperly intervened. Ariel Helwani, known for dissecting MMA and boxing controversies, insisted that if a fighter drops to a knee voluntarily, it should almost always be ruled a knockdown, especially following a jab that visibly connected. Canelo Alvarez also weighed in, referencing official boxing rules. A fighter taking a knee, combined with corner intervention, can spell a lost round or even disqualification. He argued that certain infractions must be enforced to protect the sport's integrity. Meanwhile, Paulie Malignaggi suggested that while Roach is skilled, he doesn't necessarily have the explosive attributes to be a major pay-per-view draw, hence the lukewarm public interest in a rematch. Promoter Oscar De La Hoya added his 2 cents by calling Lamont Roach Jr. sneaky good, praising the subtlety of Roach's style. Then there's Bill Haney again, never missing the chance to label Davis as a manufactured star who's content to avoid top-level challenges. Put all of these takes together, and you've got a circus of contrasting opinions that only fuels the commotion even further. But what's next for both Tank Davis and the man who many believe was robbed of a knockdown? Rumors swirl that Davis is still in talks with various promoters to secure a high-stakes fight. Fans are practically begging for matchups against Shakur Stevenson or Devin Haney, bouts that would definitively test Davis's skill and prove once and for all whether he stands among the elite. Bill Haney insists that if Davis truly wants to cement a legacy, he must face equally dangerous, highly skilled fighters instead of relying on questionable scorecards and last-minute retirements. Meanwhile, Lamont Roach Jr. remains vocal about wanting a rematch. He's convinced he did enough to secure a win, particularly in that 9th round, and many analysts agree he belongs on the pound-for-pound radar after his performance. As for Davis, he's dropped hints that he might have a big reveal for his next opponent very soon. Yet there's no guarantee it will be Roach. The new wave of speculation is that Davis might choose a completely different rival in a bid to boost pay-per-view sales before calling it quits. Will he attempt to silence Bill Haney by fighting Devin Haney or Shakur Stevenson? Or will he circle back to finish unfinished business with Roach? Either way, the clock is ticking. He's publicly set an expiration date on his career, and fans want to see him challenged like never before. Before that final bell rings on his time in the sport. Now all that's left is the million-dollar question. Gervonta "Tank" Davis stands at a crossroads, with a swirling storm of controversy at his back and a divided boxing world at his feet. Bill Haney says he's seen through the hype, claiming Davis is more interested in protecting an image than proving his greatness in the ring. Lamont Roach Jr. is adamant that their last fight was too close or outright scored incorrectly, and demands a chance to set the record straight. And looming over it all is Davis's own declaration that he's leaving the sport in just a short time. So will Davis step into the lion's den against the toughest names in the division before he rides off into the sunset? Or are we looking at one of the biggest what-if stories in modern boxing? That's the debate raging across social media, press conferences, and gym conversations worldwide. One thing's certain, if Davis dodges these showdowns, the questions will never die. But if he chooses to face the likes of Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, or even run it back with Lamont Roach Jr., he has the chance to exit the sport on his own terms, holding a legacy no one can deny. Share your thoughts below. Should Gervonta Davis grant an immediate rematch to Lamont Roach Jr., or is it time for him to challenge other top-tier fighters, Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney, and beyond? Let the world know where you stand, because the next move Tank Davis makes could define his entire legacy.